plus F plus F plus free is one free.
Join us future experts as we delve into the past.
Basically, it is clearly stated that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So we have the earth a bit of a formless void, and we have darkness covering the face of the deep. And at the same time a wind from God sweeps over the face of the waters. Right from the get-go we are getting a very clear picture.
God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth."
So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created.
A little birdie told me said something a little like this. He said, "See, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit you shall have them for food." He sure was one powerful man.
Now, I'm by no means an expert on the subject, but there's a lot more to the story if I remember correctly. So, for example, out of the ground, God made every tree, including the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to till it and keep it. And then God commanded the man, he said, "You may freely eat off every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall die." Then God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper as his partner." Here's where you really see how kind this man is.
God saw everything that he had made, and indeed, it was very good. Hats off to him, honestly. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. And on the seventh day God finished the work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all the work that he had done in creation. He does good work, doesn't he?
You really would want to have a rest after something like that. I'm sleepy just thinking about it. He also planted a garden in Eden, in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. This is a fairly important moment, I think, with the tree of life and all that. We now have a person, so it's even more relatable, and also in the midst of the garden. And we've got the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to till it and keep it. Keep it alive. Keep it kicking, and God commanded the man, "You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it you shall die." It's really straightforward stuff. In hindsight, you can see how it would happen.
Totally, and then it just gets better, doesn't it? God goes and causes a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And he slept. Then he took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. I wish someone would do that for me, you know. And the rib that God had taken from the man he made into a woman and brought her to the man. Which I just adore. I mean, isn't that sweet? Then the man said, "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called woman. For out of man this one was taken." I mean, that's a really good line. I think we can all say we've felt that way before.
I think what I love, Johnny, is that it's not just pointless rhetoric, you know? Everything this man says, he says it with purpose. And a pretty powerful purpose, I will admit, but he speaks with such authority, like all the greats. How does he learn to speak like that is what I wonder. Before he even hears words, he can just do it. It's just.
I think our audience, wherever they are, really just wants us to get on with the story. So, the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed, and there is a serpent as well. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other wild animal that God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God say, 'You shall not eat from any tree in the garden'?" Very bold question to ask. Very interesting character.
Yes, I love that bit. And then the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, nor shall you touch it, or you shall die.'" It's genius, really. I would never think to say that unless someone told me to. Was there something you wanted to say?
So I just want to jump back to that earlier point of discussion, this notion that God created humankind in his image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. God created humankind in his own image. In their own image. In our own image. In their own image. This is really powerful imagery that has been documented historically on multiple different realities as well. Images are all we have really, and if we use this example from the historical document we are discussing today, we can really start to see how this applies to our reality now. Images are everything. Images are 100% real. In my world anyway. Images are truly real, and that's the truth. I said it.
And to the man he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree about which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Until you shall eat of it all the days of your life. And named his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all living. My name is Eve as well, and it's for the same reason, and I'm sure it's everyone's name too in Nasser.
Yeah, wow. So then I think it was God again. He made garments of skins for the man and for his wife, and clothed them. And said, see, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil, and now he might reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. The God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken.
I wish I could see it for myself, all of this action. Just constantly unfolding, and all of these lessons just being enforced and learned. I want to do a reenactment, but all we have is these artifacts and fragments of what is really going on. I want to become historic one day. I want to be an artifact.
I thought that was how it would end. Yeah, wow. So that's the end of the main story for today, and wow, it has absolutely blown my mind. I am left with so many questions, but mainly like, this narrative has definitely brought a sense of peace and provided me with a lot of answers and inspiration for how to live my life and create life and also govern people, and it gave me a lot to say. A hell of a lot to say. I just kept saying it, and now I want to do it as well.
Holybible.pdf. Everyone. That was Genesis. Download for free. Just scan this QR code. It's an amazing text to just stumble across. Can't believe it isn't spoken about more regularly. I completely agree with how it felt like the words were just pouring out of my mouth when I spoke it, like I was truly speaking the words of God. It was a spiritual experience for me and extremely transcendent. I hope everyone enjoyed our discussion of this artifact we downloaded.
Sharing wisdom just feels natural, and I hope with Chapter 2, we can have even more revelations with each other and talk about things openly. You know, this natural, open discussion. We can just say whatever rolls of our tongues as we learn and grow. It's really relatable and educational whenever we do that. I feel like a whole new person. And I feel like myself again. Funny that?
Exactly. And that's just reality. It all depends on God, but God is all the same every time, otherwise it isn't not God. It just depends who is writing the book. That's what I think anyway. If I could think for myself, I would definitely think that. Do you understand what I am saying? Try and have a think anyway, and we'll see you next time.
See you when I'm looking at you.